Time is a timeless problem. Did you ever have one of those weeks where you realize it's already Thursday, even though it feels like the weekend only happened yesterday? Most of us think this is normal because life is just so busy that time seems to fly by, whether we're having fun or not, especially as you get older. But I discovered something that might prove this sensation isn't normal at all. And now that I've read more about it, the explanation has left me quite worried about how true this weird concept might be. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, aka Seneca for short, was a Stoic philosopher of ancient Rome who lived almost 2,000 years ago. He claimed that the real problem isn't that life is too short. It's that we waste a ridiculous proportion of our time in various ways we're completely unaware of. And honestly, the more I study his logic, the more disturbing things get. Despite living so long ago with no idea what our modern world would be like, his words apply to ancient Romans as much as they do to our modern lives today. So this is neither an old or a new problem. It's a human phenomenon that this video will prove applies to us all, regardless of age, background, or life path. By the end of this video, we'll have explored why Seneca's analysis of why we lose so much valuable time when the clock is clearly ticking applies to you and I, as much as everyone else in today's hectic world. Chapter 1. Never having enough time. We all have weeks that vanish fast. You know, the ones that become such a blur that you start doubting your own memory. Seneca warned that those lost days aren't accidents as much as they are habits. Bad habits that have a tendency to steal valuable stretches of time from us without us knowing where that time went or how it happened. Seneca pointed out how natural it seemed for most of us to wake up one day and realize we've traded small chunks of our life away so quietly we didn't even notice, let alone put up a fight. Stay with me while I walk you through what Seneca meant, not in some ancient philosophy class way, but in the kind of way that makes you stop mid-scroll and think, okay, something has to change. Because if we're all losing time in a similar way, most of us would at least like to notice it happening and perhaps understand why. Chapter 2, where all your time is actually going. Seneca was brutally observant. He studied life enough to notice how many people took time for granted by spending each moment as if time was a renewable resource, which of course it is not. They made plans that assumed they had infinite tomorrows, yet proceeded to treat each day as hardly relevant, as if tomorrow was when reality would kick in and things would start to matter. He commented about how he thought most people aren't living. They're too busy being pulled in various directions, from notifications, obligations, and the momentum of plans made in the past, all of which were influenced by yesterday's good and bad choices and steered by the outcomes of today. The scariest aspect of which is that most of this invisible pushing of our minds and unconscious pulling of our souls still happens in exactly the same way for most of us today. We don't see our days as wasted or feel our lives slipping away. The minutes and hours make no sound as they drain away to become history, yet they leave little tangible trace as soon as they merge with the ether of the past. They just dissolve. 1 minute they're there for us to walk through and experience every precious second of, and the next moment they're literally gone, absorbed by the foundations that make us who we are and determine where we came from. Humanity still has no way of scientifically rewinding time, reclaiming the past, or reliving spent realities. In fact, the only chance the past has of being resurrected is in our personal and collective memories, and even that can prove unreliable for some, if not downright shaky, especially when you consider things like the Mandela effect removing or falsifying our memories en masse. This alone provides evidence that our past can be rewritten by those who control the history books, as well as the victors of war. And FYI, this isn't an attack on productivity or ambition, because we're not even going to touch on the subject of how much valuable time most of us spend working our socks off and stressing over everything, diminishing our potential to enjoy every moment. Seneca wasn't necessarily against strong work ethics, so didn't really preach about work-life balance. He just wanted people to actually claim and own their time, instead of sleepwalking their way through it, as the majority of us generally do. Chapter 3. The moment you realize you're not getting time back. There's a line from Seneca that still stings my soul every time I think about it. He noted how people guard their money, lock their doors, and protect their property. But when it comes to time, they hand it out like free samples. He basically asked, why do we value the things we can replace, but ignore the one thing that can never be replenished? And do you know what makes matters worse? Modern life seems structured to make that forgetfulness so easy, almost by design, when you consider society's evolution from hard copy analog to disposable digital technologies has made things worse. Consider how many scrapbooks and newspaper clippings, mementos and artifacts our parents used to treasure. Handwritten letters and greetings cards were all valuable keepsakes that our grandparents used to stash away with printed photos for the family and guests to enjoy. What about all the books, vinyl records, music tapes, videos and compact discs we used to own? They were personal records of our lives as well as our favorite moments or cherished entertainment, all archived in ways we could access at any time. Chapter 4. Where does it all go? Over the last couple of decades, since smartphones and cloud storage, we rarely print our photos to keep in family albums, and record collections are a thing of the past. As if private property is being frowned upon or discouraged. Everything's so instant and available nowadays that the irony is it can all be turned off, denied, deleted, or locked away to be kept out of reach. For us consumers anyway, not the media moguls and tech giants that collect all our data points and catalogue everything about us. Chances are you have a drawer or box somewhere with outdated devices that store vital memories, but I bet you can't power them up anymore or open the files that are locked by passwords you've lost. Chapter 5. Why our memories used to be sharper. When I was young, I knew every address and phone number of all my friends and relatives. But if you lost your phone, would you be able to recall all your contacts' details from memory? Not when it's all been stored on a cloud or locked inside of discontinued hardware or accessed using outdated software. It's almost as if today's sensory saturation is designed to steal every aspect of our attention, and the overload of data is being used to overwhelm us, enough to ensure we're numb to most things as they happen. Combined with a lack of access to any proof of the events of our past, it seems that society is rapidly being lulled into a state of mass amnesia. With the hours of TV we watch and time spent on our phones, it's no wonder we don't have so much as a minute left to process or remember everything we do. This fact alone is enough to present us with a very strong argument for taking charge of our minds and hanging on to our memories more than ever. We need to live more consciously, in ways that achieve better levels of awareness about how we live and the moments we spend in life. We have to be mindful and present to enjoy every second, without focusing so much on the future that we don't relish the here and now. Every day, we make choices that might seem poignant or profound enough to make us believe we'll remember them forever. But a few months later, they can become a blur. And a few years later, we're disagreeing with others who were there over different versions of the details we remember. And this is why Seneca said, we must add it all up to keep track of time and audit our lives. When we look at it honestly, most of us can find whole years that weren't really lived well, just navigated on autopilot with minimal involvement. These years may seem less important than others, but were none the less used up and are now gone. Chapter 6. What Seneca thinks we should actually do about it. Here's where this all stops being depressing and starts being useful. Seneca's solution wasn't run faster or do more. It was almost the opposite. We need to become fiercely intentional and ruthlessly present, and uncomfortably honest about where your hours go. We need to start expressing ourselves outwardly as part of a two-way exchange with the world, instead of constantly spending every minute of our waking life scrolling and clicking to absorb the media and entertainment we're being enticed with. He suggests asking one uncomfortable question. If today were a full coin I had to spend, where would I want its value to land? Not where your boss wants, not where the algorithm nudges you, but wherever you'd rather spend each valuable moment of the life you have left. Socializing, learning, creating, or exploring. Travel, interaction, service to others. Even leisure pursuits and recreational endeavors would feed souls and build strong minds more than the average indulgence in entertainment or mind entrainment. all practical endeavors that form part of a real-life existence have much more to offer our life experience and valuable memories than staring at the screen of some sophisticated soul-robbing device. Seneca believed a person who owns their attention owns their life, not because they fill every second with productivity, but because they choose deliberately. Choosing joy, rest, or meaningful work are all deliberate acts of living consciously. Resisting the urge to be influenced by doom and gloom media or sensational dopamine spikes that lead us around using thousands of tiny impulses would prove another step towards self-mastery of our own lives. Chapter 7. How to notice a day before it leaves you. Here's the surprising aspect to all this. Seneca says the moment you start treating time as a precious resource, life stops feeling short. Life actually feels bigger. This is also the crucial discipline that is needed for us to learn that every day has a texture to it. Some feel smooth, some feel jagged, some seem soft and some weigh heavy. But most days will blend into each other and make a mishmash of each other if we let them. Because we never pause long enough for them to express their true nature along our path, or reveal their full potential by expressing which shape they were prone to presume. Seneca's secret trick, which I've actually started trying myself, is incredibly simple. At the end of each day, simply ask, where did my time go? And did I give it willingly? That's it. Journals help, of course. Pen and paper ones anyway. But don't get suckered into more digital inputs like habit trackers and diet records and fitness monitors or even step counters. They all contribute to the cloud's absorption of your life, not your own recollections. Just take a pause before you go to bed and consider your day. And that mindful pause will do something strange. It will slow the day down retroactively. You will suddenly recognize that you have indeed had a full day, another daytime cycle spent breathing and walking and thinking and living. You are in those moments. And now, as each of them become your new yesterday, new moments will arrive from the world of tomorrow to allow you to live through them again as your new day. This conscious acceptance of the way time flows through us as we traverse along its linear yet cyclic dynamics is one of the only ways you will be able to fully engage with the magic that these transient threads of passing moments provide. By acknowledging, assessing, reliving, and cherishing how much you lived through each collection of moments, you will open up a very human ability to steer your daily journeys and enjoy each magical moment that little bit more consciously as the years flow by. Seneca believed awareness is the cure for wasted time, because wasted time hides in the dark. When we shine the light of consciousness upon every moment of everything we do, those moments release new levels of value that make them far from wasted, even if they were spent doing nothing but remaining quiet and still. Chapter 8. Let's wisely conclude the minutes spent viewing this video. Can you remember the pain points we've looked at? Well, here's a quick recap to help you evaluate if it's been time well spent. The first pain point we talked about concerned how we think we never have enough time. Seneca's answer to this is that we do have adequate time. It's just being quietly taken from us, without our knowledge, which highlights our need to defend our most precious resource from being stolen. This level of awareness will give you leverage to claim every minute as your own and store them within your own strengthening memories. The second pain point we discussed was how minutes and hours turn into disappearing weeks, months, and years. Yet Seneca showed us that weeks only vanish when your days remain unexamined, which he determined could be fixed using one small moment of daily honesty, where we consciously slow life down to the point that we run a daily recap to acknowledge each event in ways that will stop them from being evaporated by rushing off to sleep with the thoughts of what tomorrow will bring, burying what today already delivered. The last pain point we explored involved the accumulation of lost days. Seneca revealed that days are lost through the mindless letting go of micro moments that occur like clockwork, yet remain unseen. But once you start choosing to challenge every seemingly mundane minute of your life, as if they all add up to an irreplaceable string of significant moments, your life will soon stop floating mindlessly adrift, and those losses of important times and the memories they fuel will shrink so dramatically that you will learn to accept that everything matters in life. Every silly, pointless little moment. Seneca wasn't trying to scare anyone or fill us with dread. He was trying to wake us up to the miracle of being alive right now, today, this second, before it all slides away to assume its place in the fog of the past. So if you've been feeling like life is moving too fast, or as if your days are melding together to become one long blur, even though you may have been busy somehow, or pleasantly entertained by the passing of time that consumes us through mindless pastimes, it's time to realize that you're not alone. And you're not broken. You're just human. And most humans tend to forget how precious the present moment is, and end up taking their lives for granted. Until that is, someone thoughtful from thousands of years ago shares their insights with us, when their words echo through the ether to remind us of their timeless wisdom, sometimes in ways that can have profound effects on our lives. So let this be that reminder. Your life isn't short, but every moment of it is yours to lose, claim, waste, or embrace. And even more importantly, every single tiny significant moment is totally yours to cherish and reclaim.